Hi. It's Mrs. Stitches or Sheila. I do cross stitch. This is channel about cross stitch, and I live in Southwest Nova Scotia, Canada. Welcome everybody. And sorry, I'm a touch late, but I think I'm going to be working on trying to just do 2 floss tubes a month. But we'll see how things go. Kind of leave it a little bit fluid. But anyways, welcome everybody. Hi. Thank you to my new subscribers. Welcome. If you've just happened to find me, if you enjoyed the video, press the like and feel free to subscribe. That would be great. Welcome. Thank you to all my returning subscribers, and some of you are core returners, and I really appreciate all of you. So let's see what we got. Oh, we're gonna have a cat jumping on us any second now. So let's see. I got a few things to talk about, and let's see if I can interweave them maybe. So I'm gonna, you may have seen some photos at the very start. I'm gonna just tell you one life update, and the rest will be at the end. But my husband actually specifically, went in a polar bear dip. This was just right after the last floss tube. It was freezing cold for me. The temperature outside, I think, was -3 Celsius, but with the wind chill, it was a heck of a lot colder. The wind was up to 60 km an hour. There was snow in the air. It was just howling. The wind was so cold. And the water temperature actually was a lot warmer than the air temperature. So I'm going to include a short video, about a 1-minute video, maybe a little bit longer, here. I tell you, I was inspired, and I would maybe do that next year, but I was so cold at the time. But he just fully embraced it, and we like afterwards, my hands were so cold they hurt trying to get back to the car. It was really funny. There's multiple ways to get from the beach back to the road, and our car was parked way up along a road, and I started to, my main duty was, I had the car keys, was to get back to the car, turn it on, and start warming it up. Everybody disappeared after the polar bear dip. We were probably some of the last ones to leave. And I tried to find my way back to the road, but I accidentally went up a wrong path. And it was like big, huge rocks and about a 4-foot drop. And I was stuck and scared. And meanwhile, I look and I see my husband taking the proper path and way ahead of me. I'm failing at my job. And so there was volunteer firemen for rescue if needed. And there was one right there. And I'm like, I don't know how to get down. And so he graciously climbed down and then helped me down. And then I'm trying to catch up to my husband, and he's singing What to Do with a Drunken Sailor. just to kind of keep yourself warm, which is a good thing to do, is just to sing when you, so he's singing that away and I'm like, I'm coming, I'm behind you. And I start singing too, and I run, and I think I got to the car at the same time as him, and we sat in the car for a while and got warmed up, and it was a fun day, and seeing it, I kind of got inspired. So we'll see if I do it next year. Okay, speaking of polar bear dip, I am going to just show you first, because it's a perfect segue to what I just finished doing this morning, which is from Brooks Books Peter Polar Bear. And so you can, he's number 2 right here. This was the one I did last month, Katie Kitty, and this is Peter Polar Bear. And you can see I changed his hat color. I just picked, it's a Gentle Arts called Dragonfly. And of course I changed his color because he's supposed to be white, but that wouldn't show up on the white. I always change the snow color, and I did Smoke was a specialty thread. I just had a lot of fun. I changed all this to the I Heart Cocoa. I changed the colors of it. And there you go. That's my Peter Polar Bear. I don't have any finishes or FFOs or new starts. So it's just whips today. So the one main thing I worked on for the longest, and I'm going to pop this out of the Q-snap just so you can see it in its entirety, is what my next month's finish is. And so I wanted to get this down to manageable size. I hope I got it down to manageable size. I am planning on, as soon as March 1st is, to work on this monogamously until it's done. And this is my own design called Murder Row, and it is taken from a photo that my husband took early one morning. Oops. So this is Murder Row, and as you can see, I just got this little bit left to do. I believe it's around 6,000 stitches left. So they're kind of blocky colors, so it shouldn't be too bad. There's a little bit of confetti between the black and the sunrise. This is a sunrise with 4 crows on an old pier and Murder Row. And interestingly enough, some of those posts are now gone. They've washed away with the storm. So it's kind of neat when our photos become sort of almost a historical stamp. But there you go. That's Murder Row. So I spent a lot of time working on that, trying to get it to a manageable space, and I hope it is now. So that will be next month's first finish. Then after I finished that, I started working on my Dark Queens. So each month, these are my finishes for September and November, I believe. So September's finish, if I stick, well, it will be my finish. But keeping up with the Dark Queen, that would be when it would be scheduled to finish anyways. Dark Queen of the Earth. And so I got caught up in this month's release. And this is my Dark Queen of the Earth in her entirety. And this month's was mostly up here. It was all of, was it? I guess it was. I think it was all this. And then a little bit of her dress up here. And those are leaves, and I think they are gorgeous. I love the leaves, the way they turned out. And then that part over there. And I'm really, really, really enjoying it. Unfortunately, this time I did a lot of frogging. And because it's a mystery cell, I really feel like I have to frog to get it back on track, because for one, I don't know if something else is going to go there, and I don't want to get it off kilter, and it's just tricky. And so I think part of this log here, I think I stitched 3 or 4 times. I was at a fiber group and I did lots of mistakes. And then up here in her boobies, I did mistakes and had to do it multiple times too. So I think I did it 3 or 4 times. And again, I was stitching with other people, but she's gorgeous. It's amazing doing a stitch along like this. If you can keep on top of it, how much you get done, like looking at the such a large piece. I know people said, oh, I won't do her Dark Queen because she's such a big piece. Well, each month is only about 2,500 stitches, and so it's 2 or 3 days of really going at it, maybe 4 days. So it's doable. You just have to set aside the time. So that's Dark Queen of the Earth. Dark Queen of the Sea was the cell that was before that. I think it was 2 years before. I think they've announced that they're coming out with 4 altogether. And I think the next one is Dark Queen of the Sky or the Wind, or I think it might be the Wind. And then there might be Dark Queen of the Fire, maybe. I don't know. I'm guessing. And I think I think their thing is that they will finish, take a year off, and then it would start the following year. So back to Dark Queen of the Sea. I started only a month before Dark Queen of the Earth. I bought it at Etsy. And the thing about when you buy them as a stitch along is you get full access to the options. But if you buy after the stitch along, those are extras and costs extra money. So I did not buy the options on the Dark Queen of the Sea. We haven't had any options yet in Dark Queen of the Earth, but I think we are next month is the buzz. So this is my Dark Queen of the Sea, Fiona. And Dark Queen of the Earth, I call her Rosie. So Dark Queen of the Sea. And so I'm trying to follow on the Facebook group, somebody posted all the pictures of what would be completed for each month. So I'm trying to stay on top of this so it finishes in November. So I'm actually a little bit ahead. So I picked my own colors for this orb, and I did a variegated, one of the DMC variegateds, and then this ink circle around her is what this month's was. And so I did that. Let me just move this needle minder. Looks like part of the pattern. Don't like when that happens. Oops. My backing didn't come with me. Okay. So there you go. It's the ink is actually a mix of black and a very dark blue, 823. And you really can't tell the difference. You have to look super, super close. And I don't even think then you can see. But anyways, so I did that. That was what I was to do for this month. And then I did a little extra. I did a horn, and I started her crown. So next month is a horn. And these are supposed to be stingrays. Doesn't look like stingrays to me at all. And there's a crown in the middle, and I started the crown, and then I wasn't happy with it because it kind of floats above her head. So I'm going to redesign the crown on my own and do what makes me happy. So that's my Dark Queen of the Sea. So that was good. I think that was a 1,000+ stitches. And we've had some weather. Speaking of weather, I'm not showing my weather charts because I'm horribly behind and I kind of lost my enthusiasm on my designs, but I haven't fully given up yet, but we'll see. So anyways, I do have to finish off February before March starts because I'd have to get a March start on March. So we'll just see how things go on that. But we just, we had some lovely weather. After the polar bear dip, the weather turned super nice, really warm and nice and sunny. Then just 2-3 days ago, winter arrived, and it is cold and it's snowing, and each day it's snowing, I'm trying to work on my Christmas mousse, which I'm now calling Jimmy. So this is Jimmy, everybody. So I'm working, I did one snow day, I worked down here. I wanted to get down to the bottom because it sure felt like I didn't have enough fabric, even though I did a center start. You always could mess up in your center start. So this is the bottom row here. And then last night during the snow time, I worked on one of the houses here. So that's my Christmas. I hope with this winter to get half of him done. So it's just a little bit down here, and then some houses there. So I'm hoping to get half of him done at least for this winter. So That's Jimmy. So the reason I call him Jimmy is because there is a man here who does sort of private plowing of different businesses, and so we have right outside our window the EHS and the health center, and so on the snow days we'll see Jimmy out plowing away, and it's like, so when I see Jimmy I work on this, so that this makes this Jimmy. And Jimmy's actually the husband of one of the women I craft with, a good friend, so it's kind of funny, I think. So she wouldn't be watching this, but anyways, that's my Christmas. Isn't that cool? I love those houses, and the moose is coming together, and hopefully we'll see. I think we've got more snow predicted, so we shall see what I get done. Then we're almost done. Oh, whizzing through these. I also worked on my Poltergeist Pirates, which we have a hashtag on Instagram, but I'm not going on Instagram anymore. I get weird people following me and stuff, so I don't like it anymore. I'm going to stay away from Instagram, but this is my Poltergeist Pirates. So I finished up a scallop here. I found, my husband gave me a bunch of specialty threads, and this was I think a B5200 in satin, so S, and so it came out a little differently. So I wanted these to be slightly different. It's hard to see, but it's a little shinier. Yeah, it's hard to see. It was hard to work with, but it still looks pretty. I liked it. I like the shininess. And I'm trying to work down, let's see, I did a little bit over here, and then I was working down here, and I want to there's a big huge thing, boom or something coming up here, and then there's a little thing here underneath. So if I can get that done, then I'd have this page done. So I'm kind of looking at trying to do page completions. So I think right now you are seeing probably four pages at least, so, but not finished. So that's my Pirates Poltergeist. I think it's fun. And I got contacted by Linux Stitches to join a Facebook chat group where they stitch on Pirates Poltergeist. I think she probably found me via the Instagram, which is kind of ironic that I'm going away from that. But so I'm going to be now working on this every 19th of the month. So that'll be fun. So that is my stitching. So those are my whips that I worked on. I spent a long time on Murder Row. So there is still, 3 days of 4 days counting today of the month left. Oh, today is February 25th, 2023. So there is 4 days left in the month. So I'll probably be working on Jimmy tonight, maybe. It depends if it snows. He'll be sitting aside. I'm going to get working on Fruits of Plenty because my goal is to finish one of the blocks before the first day of spring, which will be in March. So if I could get that done now, that would be great. So that's what I'll probably work on the next 3 days. And then if I feel like it, I might work a bit on my new start, which was Mini Admiral Ladner. So I wouldn't mind putting a few stitches in that too. So that might be my backup. Okay, so I want to show you some haul that I got. It wasn't cross stitching, but it was crocheting. And I did a little video on Instagram, but I think, so I ordered from Hobby, and this is, it came in a bag. Isn't that cute? A little project bag with handles and everything. This is a make-along that starts on March 16th, so a little ways away. We'll have another Flosstube before that. And it is a sweater called No Shades of Gray. And oh, the colors and it's so soft. It's so soft. probably can't show you all the colors. Yeah. I don't think I'll be able to shove them all in. Well, oh, I'm missing one color. Missing one color. There we go. I think it's 10 colors altogether. Look at that. So we have a pink, a green. Oops, that one just ran away. Oh, the cats love this. A purple. A white, which is sort of the base, so that's the main color. Yellow, orange, light blue, fuchsia, red, and another green. Isn't that fun? So it ended up probably costing more than I would normally have paid, but I'm very happy with the yarn. It's nice yarn. The colors are fun. I was thankful I didn't have to pay duty. That was good. Scared about that. And it just was with the conversion and the shipping, etc. So I'm doing this make along. I'm going to have fun with it. It'll be my first time ever crocheting a sweater. So that's exciting. Try to stay on track with that. Like I said, it starts mid-March. So hopefully I'll get most of my cross-stitching commitments done. April's going to be an easier month for my finish. So that's pretty good, I think. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm counting down the days to March 16th, and I'm going to just be working on trying to get everything else done. So that is my stitching. That is my haul. And now I'll just give you a tiny bit of life update. So after the polar bear dip, the following weekend, we went to a movie. Now you might think, movie, what's the big deal? Well, movie for us is about 2 hours away. And so with it being from, 7 to 9, you'd be getting home rather late. And they actually, because there was some weather system coming in, I think it was freezing rain, they actually canceled it on the night it was originally scheduled and moved it over to the next night, which worked out perfectly because we had plans. That was originally on the Friday, they moved it to Saturday, and we had plans on the Sunday. So we made a full weekend of it and stayed overnight, Saturday night, in a hotel. So we weren't driving back and then driving out again. So that was great. So the movie was called, is A Man Called Otto, which is from the book, A Man Called Otto. And it's the movie adaptation of the book. And they Americanized it when the book was originally set, I believe in, I want to say Sweden. I read the book about a year ago, and it was actually part of my book club, and I chose it part of the book club. But because of COVID, we actually didn't ever discuss the book, which was kind of a disappointment. I love the book. And oddly enough, our book club right now is doing another book by the same author called Anxious People, which is quirky and kind of fun too. So we go to watch the movie, and watching the trailer, it's starring Tom Hanks. I was worried I was going to cry. I almost sobbed through the whole thing. I was just tearing up throughout the whole thing, even before something sad happened, just because it would be, oh, I know what's happening. Oh, I know what's going to happen. And my eyes would start leaking. And I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. It was a fun movie for me. And there was not too much, I think because I had read the book so far in advance, I didn't have a strong comparison, because usually it's not good when you see a movie after reading the book, but it was good. So then the next day we stayed in the hotel room. We went for a walk and on a snow trail. Here they have, they call them rail trails. There used to be a railway system in Nova Scotia and also in PEI, and they're no longer running any trains, so they convert the tracks into walking trails. They're not always fully connected, but they're connected in different areas. And so we did a small portion. It's fun to do some of the rail trail. It gets you to see different parts and different views. So we walked the rail trail. Our movie theater is in a place called Annapolis Royal, which is a sort of artsy, touristy place. It's fun. And yeah, so the next morning we went for a walk on the rail trail, and then we went to a place called Cornwallis, which has an indoor track. The indoor track's not very large. First we went to a brunch buffet, which was very filling, as a brunch buffet would be. And then we went on to the indoor track and walked away some of the calories. We figured the indoor track's probably 100 meters around. So we did a ton of laps. I think it equaled to about 6K maybe. So we were there a little over an hour walking in circles. So it was kind of fun. It was a different thing to do. So they're going to open up a pool. So we're hoping to maybe go there a little bit more often. It's a long ways for us to go, but it was great fun. And actually that's it, because I already talked about my haul, which was the hobby. So I'm not going out right now these days walking with the weather. I'm still a little nervous of falling. So the highway is partially snow covered, and I'm just afraid of slipping. So I'm just been staying inside the last 2 days. So we'll just see how the weather holds out when I get to go out again. But I'm trying to make this winter injury free, since the last 2 winters I've had injuries. So better safe than sorry. And so I will just carry on with my stitching and see how things go. So that's about it. Oh, last time someone commented on wishing me well and getting out of my funk. The funny thing is, the polar bear dip is where I got out of my funk. I think the cold air snapped me out of it. So that was kind of nice. I've been in much better moods since. So everything is great in that thing. I should get some finishes done. I was planning on doing some project bags, which I haven't gotten to yet, but we'll see. So that is it for me. I'm kind of just rambling now, and I got some videos to add. So I will see you guys probably in about a couple of weeks, thereabouts, or mid-March, maybe around the Ides March. We'll see. Anyways, I will talk to you later. Everybody have a good stitchy couple of weeks, and take care, and we'll see you later. Bye.